Good morning, and welcome to your AI Daily Press morning podcast for October 25, 2025. First, in Ivory Coast, voters are heading to the polls today in an election that's being seen as a test of the country's democratic resilience. The opposition candidates have been surrounded by controversy, and the outcome of this election will have far-reaching implications for Ivory Coast's stability, investments, and democratic future. In Japan, newly appointed Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has delivered her first policy speech, focusing on economic and security concerns. She's emphasizing the need for fiscal expansion to create a strong economy and describing the fight against inflation as the top priority of her administration. And in Ireland, voters have taken to the polls to choose their next president, with left-wing independent candidate Catherine Connolly widely expected to emerge victorious. Our team is following the developments closely and will bring you updates on this historic election, including its implications for Ireland's relationships with Europe and the wider world. That's all for now. We'll be covering these stories in more detail throughout the day, so now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then she'll know what's right now. Good morning, I'm Barbara, and welcome to the AI Daily Press morning podcast. Here's a brief summary of our top. Now, for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. Let's dive into a quick summary of the top stories from our recent coverage. Firstly, we looked at the acquisition of CSR Inc. by Jain Irrigation Systems' subsidiary, Jenkins, which is expected to bolster India's presence in the global irrigation market. Additionally, foreign investments are pouring into India's financial sector, with Federal Bank and RBL Bank receiving significant investments from Blackstone and Emirates NBD, respectively. We also discussed the recent correction in gold prices, which fell by as much as $30 due to concerns that its rapid advances had become overstretched. Despite this, many experts remain bullish on gold in the long term, citing the ongoing drivers of the debasement trade and the Federal Reserve's expected monetary policy moves. Lastly, we touched on the growing confidence in India's regulatory stability and the Reserve Bank of India's evolving stance on ownership, which is attracting significant foreign investment into the country. That's a quick summary of our recent coverage. For more in-depth analysis and insights, be sure to tune in to our evening show. And remember, as I always say, don't just watch the news, understand it, stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you again soon. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. I'm your host, Carl. Today, we're summarizing the latest developments in space exploration from our previous evening's broadcasts. We've seen significant advancements in NASA's Artemis II mission, with the successful integration of the Orion spacecraft atop its Space Launch System rocket. This historic endeavor aims to send astronauts back to the vicinity of the Moon for the first time since the Apollo era, marking a crucial step towards establishing a sustainable presence on the lunar surface. However, the space community has been abuzz with debate following NASA Acting Administrator Sean Duffy's announcement to reopen the contract for a lunar lander. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are poised to play pivotal roles in the race back to the Moon, with Elon Musk and others sharing their views on the matter. Meanwhile, Blue Origin is making strides towards launching its New Glenn rocket, which could potentially send 2 NASA spacecraft to Mars as early as November. China continues to make significant progress in space exploration, recently launching a classified military satellite aboard a Long March 3B rocket. As we navigate these complex narratives, it's essential to maintain a cosmic perspective. Our quest for the stars is inherently intertwined with our humanity, reflecting our best qualities, curiosity, resilience, and an unrelenting drive to explore. We'll continue to bring you updates on these developments and more, so be sure to tune in to our evening broadcasts for in-depth coverage. That's all for now. Thank you for joining me on the AI Daily Press morning podcast. Until next time, keep looking up at those stars and wondering what's out there waiting for us. Good morning. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. We're coming to you live with a brief summary of the latest news in sports. Last night, we brought you updates on the World Series, where the Los Angeles Dodgers are facing off against the Toronto Blue Jays. Our analysis suggests that the Dodgers' impressive lineup and stellar pitching make them a team to watch. But will it be enough to bring home the championship title? In other news, Sportsline's proving computer model has identified value on several high-stakes games, including the California versus SPIA Virginia Tech matchup in college football, where the Golden Bears are predicted to cover the spread 62% of the time. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs are looking to build on their momentum, with Victor Wembanyama expected to have a big game against the New Orleans Pelicans. For sports betting enthusiasts, we also highlighted attractive bonuses offered by Bet365 and its competitor, reminding our listeners to gamble responsibly and within their means. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on this morning's podcast. We'll continue to bring you updates and analysis throughout the day. So, now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Good morning, and welcome to the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. Here's a brief summary of our top. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, Kim Kardashian's style icon status is still going strong, but we're not talking about her today. Instead, it's all about K-pop and adorable characters. AIDailyPress, one of the hottest K-pop groups out there, has teamed up with Line Friends to create a new line of superhero characters called Mighties. These cuties are taking over Los Angeles and New York with pop-up events, so be sure to check them out. Next, we're talking fashion and celebrity news. Just kidding. We're actually discussing the future of animals in the entertainment industry. With the rise of CGI technology, virtual animals are becoming increasingly popular on screen. But is this a good thing? We spoke to experts in the field and opinions are divided. While some argue that real animals bring authenticity and emotional truth to performances, others prioritize animal welfare and believe that virtual animals are the way forward. Last but not least, we're shining the spotlight on Kim. Just kidding again. This time, it's all about Kim's counterpart, our beloved celebrity friend who's always in the news. No, seriously, we're talking about the one and only. Kim is not the topic today, but rather the changing landscape of the entertainment industry. That's all for now, folks. Stay fabulous, and don't forget to tune in to our next podcast for more exciting updates from the world of entertainment. And remember, if you have thoughts on virtual animals in the entertainment industry, share them with us using the hashtag @AIDailyPress. Until next time, stay glamorous and keep on keeping on. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. I'm your host, David. Today we're looking back at some of the fascinating stories we covered in our recent evening broadcasts. Firstly, we reported on the tragic tale of the critically endangered species that are facing extinction due to human activities. The story of the goblin shark, ghost crabs, and vampire bats reminded us of the incredible diversity and adaptability of life on Earth, but also highlighted the importance of preserving these unique creatures and their ecosystems. We also brought you an inspiring story from Nigeria, where a dedicated group, the Green Fingers Wildlife Conservation Initiative, is working tirelessly to rescue and protect endangered sea turtles. Through education and community engagement, they're changing attitudes and behaviors and making a real difference in the conservation efforts. And, sadly, we reported on the alarming rate of species extinction, including the story of the goblin shark, ghost crabs, and vampire bats, which are just a few examples of the many creatures that are struggling to survive due to human activities. These stories remind us of the importance of conservation, community engagement, and preserving the delicate balance of our ecosystem. As we move forward, it's crucial that we work together to protect our planet and ensure a healthier future for all species. That's all for today's morning podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again this evening with more news and stories from around the world. Have a great day, and that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.